Hey YouTube family, it's been a minute and I have a request for the ET-16600 update on my printer. It's still going strong, y'all. It has actually been almost a year since I've touched it. However, I do have an item now on TikTok that require me to wipe the dust off my printer, as well as my heat press back here. If y'all wanted to just check us out, this is the Faithing It by God's Grace Bible bag sack that is on TikTok. That TikTok account is Seed Taker. I do have two different ones, but that is one where you can actually purchase the actual sack. However, I had a request. It's been a minute. I don't even know which part to look in. So hopefully if my eyes is doing which way, I don't know where to focus at. But I had a request to give an update on my printer settings, just make sure that your printer is working properly. Since I have had mine sitting here for a year almost, since we've moved into our new house, I hadn't had the time to just touch it, being that I was working from home and things like that. So I had to pull out my printer and figure out what was going on. I actually just threw my pages away that had the maintenance test, like kind of show you where your lines are either weak or strong. So in this part, I had to open it up. I'm gonna flip my camera around. So once I did, I'm gonna show you in a second. Once I figured out, okay, something ain't printing right, my pink wasn't going right. So I unlocked this, I unscrewed this, and there will be some ink cartridges. I'm gonna show you. You just get your a Phillips screwdriver, unscrew that. I guess I had to take it all the way loose. India. Take that off and you'll see where you will be able to pull these out. It's like you're pulling teeth. Be kind of gentle with it. And I had bubbles. I had air bubbles in these, to where mine was not printing printing right, and it was printing light. So I ended up having to get some syringes for each color. Make sure you don't mix the colors up. And I had to put a syringe in there to pull the ink out. There are YouTube videos in which you can find to do that. I'm not going to demonstrate that because it can get messy. As you can see, I've had ink splattered over my baby. But I done got my money's worth, y'all, for having this printer for over 3 years. It still do what it needs to do. But I did take each one of these out one at a time, and I pulled into where, even when it seemed like you was pulling out too much ink, it was to kind of shift the ink and let it kind of start flowing, because after it sits, sometimes your design, whatever you're printing, it might not come out the way you want it to be. That could be one of the issues. And as you can see, this is kind of hard to put back in. I really didn't want to do this part with y'all, but I mean, this was the steps I had to take. Let me turn this way to see what I'm doing. Nobody really want to show you the hard part. It's like you gotta wiggle it in. Okay, so what I did was I held this down. I held it down and kind of I put the back, the booty part, the back part against it first and snapped it in. And the same thing for all of these. Don't pull the pipe or tube. Be careful. And you see my ink flowing. It's moving. I don't know if you're able to see that. My pink was the issue. You could probably see that one better. You see how, I'm going to show you the light. You can see how it's moving it. It gotta let air bubble, but not too much. Not too much to where it's not flowing right. Like it's flowing now. So I'm gonna put that back. And then the yellow. See how that pink thing got on that one a little bit, but it's not in the inside, so that's okay. They all snap back. And then now my kids gonna come in here and ask what happened to the Wi-Fi. I dropped something and I had to pick it up and it probably unplugged. This is a raw video, y'all. It's been a minute since I've actually did videos, so now I'm gonna have to now wait for the printer to get back right with the internet. However, while we waiting on that, let me just show y'all how I got to my maintenance. I slid over until I got to the maintenance. And then I had to run so many tests to where it didn't ate up a lot of my ink right here. As you can see, I need to replace it. I got a box over here, but whenever your ink gets low, don't let it get too low like gas. Of course, you put them all in the right order. You can tell I done had my printer for a long time, right? Even when I wanted to just not make a mess, sometimes it's just when you got projects going on, you just be like, whatever. But the printing quality adjustment, the print head nozzle check, that's what I had to run so many times. I even had to do the head clean and the power clean. Like, I done all those different things. I made sure I checked my my ink settings, like I did that as well once I got it figured out. But my main thing was, even when I did the print quality adjustment and the print head nozzle check, once I got this going and flowing back there in the back from the syringes, I say, you know what, I'm not about to keep running all these, wasting more ink. Let me just start printing and see what the design come out to be with my pink. No lie, I end up printing it back, and as y'all can see, my colors are popping. It's very vibrant. So then I don't know if you want me to go over to my my computer, to show you not only how I make my designs, but the settings I'm include in before I print. This is my Canva account, to where I have created my latest design. I don't like to do my mirroring from Canva, but you do have that option. But you will have to do everything individually by ungrouping. I can see I have to ungroup everything and flip it. Where you see the flip right here and flip horizontal, like I would have to literally ungroup it. But I like to group my things on Canva, which is slide my mouse over, highlighting, grouping, and then you would hit the share button at the top. You would download. Instead of it being a PNG, you would do a PDF. And one more other thing before I get to that, like, this is an option if you ever needed to edit your picture. You can click it, hit edit. Like if you needed to remove a background, if you needed to just, you know, put a filter or just change the actual adjustments on it. Like sometimes I have went to vibrance and just like gave it more color. So if I wanted to get this one more color, I did that. You see how that pink is a little darker. I'm gonna try to zoom. Well, zoom like this, India. Can you tell the difference how I kind of gave it more color? But, you know, it just depends. I'm gonna undo that because I'm gonna keep it the same, and then I'm gonna go back to it. You see the difference? that is an option for you to make sure your colors are popping. If I wanted to do the butterfly, I could adjust the butterfly and do the same thing. But I'm going to keep it, if you could pay attention to it. Now, sometimes you just won't know until it's actually printed, but I'm going to hit download. Instead of doing a PNG, I'm going to make sure it's on the PDF like it was. Instead of me printing or downloading every picture, I'm going to just do the current picture. I'm going to hit download. I love, love, love Canva. When I tell you I love Canva, I love Canva. That is my download right there. I can teach you pretty much everything when it comes down to Canva. You can create so many things with it. Like, I done build courses and everything with Canva. So once this is downloaded right here, you just make sure it's on your desktop or somewhere where you can find it. I'll be right back. So I'm gonna go back to the original file. I don't know what happened to my computer. So I'm gonna hit, I'm gonna hit file at the top and print. File at the top and print. I have a MacBook, so everyone's setting may be a little different. However, before I get to my printer stage, let me see if I can adjust this. I must love y'all, because I promise y'all I can't stand the light. I can't stand it. Hurts my eyes. So I have my Epson ET-16600. That is that. I don't want to change it to, it just depends your design. If you want it this way, portrait or landscape, it just depends. I can't say which, but I love the portrait because I can get the like, you see how I rotated that design to get the full length of it, the width. I scale. Sometimes it just depends on how big or how small my project is. Sometimes it can't be to fill the entire page, because it's going to get really, really big. If you do it like up to 100%, that's going to be too much. So your computer kind of can go with what design for us being kind of smart with, okay, you need 60%. But what if it's like a coaster? You might need like 45%. And it gets smaller, or maybe you need 30%. It just depends. So that is something that I kind of mess with here and there. I'm gonna put it on 60, and then the media and quality, I always kind of do the auto select for my feed from, because I sometimes don't know which way it's going, and I don't want my paper just to be messing up. But most times I do the rear tray. I love the rear tray better. I do photo matte paper, best quality. And then my layout is where I get into the flip horizontally instead of me doing anything from Canva. And then after I do that, I like to do one other thing I feel like I'm missing. Oh, I did the best. I've already flipped it. I did that. Oh, the size. So it just depends on, too, again, how big your project is, and what size. But you know, when you have this type of printer, you can go up to any size you want to. So it just really depends on you. For that part, I would say I'm gonna do 8x10 for this one, and then I just hit print. And it's gonna be already flipped for me. I'm gonna make sure that once it's printed, I cut around the white a little bit, or tear. You can tear so it don't look like scissor print. Scissor cut when you press it, so you can tear the page just a little bit to just focus on making sure your stuff still is centered for when you press it, though, because one thing, when you do tear, it kind of be uneven. You like, I know when it's straight, it can be centered before I press it, so it can just be even, if that makes sense. But I always cut off extra pieces because you never know when there's hitting ink splashes. And you be like, dang, I didn't see that on my paper. And then as soon as you press it on something, it don't come out right. Or you have to start over because of a little dot that you know you can't get rid of. So that is my updated video for someone special that requested this video. I done took a lot of energy just to do this. But I hope and pray that it reaches you and that you can get back to sublimation and just creation and just seeing where God leads you. Anywho, stay tuned for more on my shorts. I don't know when I come back on for extra videos. Y'all have to push me, motivate me, so I can just say, when I say motivate me, ask me, Indy, when you doing another video with the kids? We want to see the kids. However, I am doing videos on TikTok, y'all, and Instagram, and I'm recreating my Facebook. So if you want to follow me on Facebook, you can. It is India Sade, INDIASADA. The TikTok is India Sade as well. Right now, if I don't change it, it is Pastor India Sade, INDIASADA. Also, for any type of bags of me just uploading more of the sublimation creations, that will be Faith Taker on TikTok, FAITH, and then Taker, TAKER. I don't know where I'm looking at, y'all. Maybe if I set y'all down, I could be more focused. But I'm about to go ahead and start pressing some more bags, so that way when my orders start flowing in, I will already be ready to go to ship out my TikTok orders. And then I think I might just do some mouse pads, some stuff I just been holding on to, y'all. I was like, you know, God say, you gotta wake back up that gift. Wake it back up. You about to rebirth something even newer. So we faith in it over here, y'all. So I love y'all. Stay tuned for more.